Hi everyone, Erin here at Taliesin Preservation. We are so excited to be bringing you Wright's virtual birthday party into your own homes. This is an event that's traditionally been held together by the Taliesin Fellowship and the School of Architecture, and we are so proud to be continuing this legacy and bringing it to the world and sharing Taliesin's endless reverence with all of you. So today I'm going to be talking to MINERVA Montooth, who was Ogilvana Lloyd Wright's personal secretary, and EFFI Casey, who is the Taliesin musical director, and a lovely painter and artist as well. So let's chat with them and find out what their first memories of the birthday party actually looked like.
Mr. Wright's birthday parties, I think, started in the 1930s, probably, was the fellowship. But my first one was in the early 1950s. As far as I can remember, that was the first one. Elizabeth Gordon was the editor of House Beautiful magazine, and she had 3 issues devoted to Frank Lloyd Wright. She was a big fan. And she came for the birthday with her staff from the magazine from New York City, and they brought a magnum of champagne. And it was served over in the hillside living room, which people call today the activity room or something. Assembly room, I guess they call it, but we called it the living room. And we had the party in that room, and then we moved someplace else. I don't even remember where for dinner, because that was that part I don't remember. It was so exciting to have the champagne, and all the New York people was so sophisticated. Ms. Gordon was a very nice, charming woman, and Mr. Wright was happy, and Mrs. Wright was happy. It was very nice. That's the first memory I have.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of the box projects, and how did that evolve over the years, and how was that integrated into the birthday party?
I have to say that since I did not know Mr. Wright personally, since I came after his passing, I cannot speak to the beginnings of it, but of course I've seen many pictures. And if I may just say a little bit about it.
Okay. Sorry.
From all I know of Mr. Wright, he really was delighted in sincere expressions of creativity, and for his birthday, rather than expensive gifts or something. And so the apprentices created a gift box, and these boxes were in themselves creations of beautiful art. We have still some of them in the archives, as I know. And these gift boxes were had gifts in form of a poem, a piece of music, a composition, or an architectural design, weaving maybe, or stained glass screens we still have in the living room in Taliesin West, for instance, by John Armantidis. And so I think Mr. Wright really, really loved that kind of a creative expression and gift idea. I witnessed it, of course, primarily with Mrs. Wright. And I was just thinking about that it always had a very, I don't want to say sacred feeling to it, but certainly a very dignified, very special moment. We dressed up and we sat around, and the presenter came to show his or her work. And that was also meant to help learn how to present something to a client or to a group of people. So I have very fond memories of that.
Effie, you talked a little bit about really authentic gifts to Wright, and I think one of the most famous pieces that we have is the hillside curtain. Minerva, do you want to talk a little bit about the hillside curtain and that being a gift to Wright?
Yes, that was for Mr. Wright for his birthday. It was from a drawing that he had done, but he had no idea that the fellowship was working on it at night over at Hillside on the floor of the Hillside Theater. So it was just spread out. It was linen, beige beige linen, and then all these felt applique parts were put on for the design, and it was a work of, I don't know how long it took and how many people worked on it over the, it was a matter of weeks that it was in process.
Was actually beautiful to see that hillside curtain in New York at the Guggenheim Museum. And it was stunning how powerful the piece is in itself. We know it
Right.
in our beloved theater, but that it was so powerful and strong in that huge, wonderful space of the Guggenheim was a very unique experience for me, I have to say.
So you ladies have been here for quite some time. Talk about how long, either historically or up until this year, how long did the birthday party take to prepare for, and what was your primary role in preparing for the birthday parties?
Okay, Minerva.
Well, I started out, of course, as a guest. I came in 1947, and I was a guest in many. I didn't always come on the birthday in those years. I came whatever was, I had a vacation from work. I came from New York at that point. But in 52, I was married to Taliesin, and Mr. Wright invited Charles and me to have our wedding in the theater in Arizona because I had helped work on it. So then I began to be there for birthdays, and they were frequently in Arizona at that time. And it wasn't nearly as big as it is now. We just have maybe 30 guests or something like that. And Mrs. Wright took care of all the guest list and all the seating charts and all that she did. And it was a big job for her. So she usually had somebody helping her, and I did sometimes. And after she passed away, then I became the one to take over. So I did the invitations, sending the list, and it grew and grew and grew. And
Effie, what was your role?
Well, actually, to stay with the social aspect, I helped in recent years, I helped Minerva with the seating chart because Minerva has such a knowledge of people. She knows the guests and she knows who enjoys sitting with who or who doesn't enjoy sitting with somebody. She has a very sensitive, keen eye and knowledge about that. And I have been on all aspects of the birthday, like in the kitchen or the table arrangement. I think that's such a wonderful aspect of our life that it is a group effort, a team effort to put something on like that. And that everybody contributes and one feeds the idea feeds the other, and you have to communicate with the chef what is the menu, and another group prepares the cake, another one picks the flowers for the dining room table. When I first came from Germany in 66, I was assigned to open the living room at Taliesin by vacuuming the walls. There were no art objects, there was nothing. And initially I thought, I came all this way and now I'm just dusting and use the vacuum cleaner to clean really dusty walls and old wood and all this kind of thing. I felt, what is this about? And gradually, by touching everything and cleaning it, I learned something about the architecture. Look at that, it goes around the corner or something like that. And little by little, as we pulled out all the art objects, the whole space came to life. It was an unforgettable experience. And once I overcame this arrogant attitude of mine, I really learned right on the spot what it's all about. And so too is the whole event of the birthday, I think.
We're doing this virtually this year. Why do you think now, more than ever, is it important that we carry on this tradition that you guys have carried on in this community? Why do you think now we should do this together virtually rather than just postpone?
Well, I think for one thing, Mr. Wright's ideas are so contemporary. When you look at them, they are not ancient at all. No old history. It is contemporary, and it goes into the future. And we are dedicated to maintaining that legacy that Mr. Wright left.
Yeah, I think just as we celebrate birthdays of composers like Bach or Schubertiade, like Bach festivals, it is really wonderful to keep that tradition going. However, I think the challenge is going to be to keep the fond and affectionate feelings we have for the event and for the person, Frank Lloyd Wright, to the experience for those who are invited and participate in the festivities, to primarily experience the beauty of life within the buildings. It might over time not be so important what Mr. Wright liked to eat, but rather what is it that his whole idea, like Minerva just said, what is it about, and how do you live beautifully? How do you and concentrate on those ideas? I'm not saying don't hold Frank Lloyd Wright in your heart, because everybody has a strong feeling about that, and that's very important. But you understand what I mean? To really go on, we have to focus on those ideas. In fact, I thought, how about we keep thinking about a gift box in which guests contribute something, an idea to Frank Lloyd Wright, or how they understand it. And of course, we take dollars also, but make it a gift event and celebrate really Frank Lloyd Wright's ideas. I think that'd be really wonderful, actually.